What's up, YouTube? Real Cousin James here, and today we're going to talk about crawfish. Mardi Gras is just around the corner, and that's a big festival. Some parts of the world they call it Carnival, but in South Louisiana and other French-speaking parts of the world, they call it Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday. And that tradition is prominent here in South Texas because there's many Cajun people here. And the Cajuns were French-speaking people, French subjects, who had to leave Atlantic Canada in the 18th century to come down to Louisiana and Texas because of their conflict with the Anglo-Canadians there. So anyway, the other day, I went to go get some crawfish at this restaurant in a small town called Palacios, Texas. That is how we pronounce it, not Palacios, Palacios. And I know this place, Trans Restaurant, usually has crawfish when they're in season. I've had them there before, and they're really good. Unfortunately, I didn't count on the fact that in addition to Mardi Gras season, it's also Tet, which is the Vietnamese Lunar New Year, so they were closed. So I didn't get any crawfish on Saturday, so I kind of hung out and looked at the chapel in the Vietnamese neighborhood. Most of the Vietnamese people here in Texas are Catholic, and this is a Catholic chapel. I could hear the fireworks for the Tet celebration going off in the background. It's kind of interesting. The next day, I decided to go up to Houston and try my luck again at a different place. There's this restaurant up there, and you see in the parking lot of the shopping center, right? There's this kind of Vietnam War monument. You see the two sort of Vietnam War era soldiers there, and then the flags in the background. It's really interesting. That thing's probably at least 50 feet high. It's huge. But anyway, the Vietnamese people here in Texas, like the Cajuns, they had to leave their homeland. And they did so in the last quarter of the 20th century, pretty much from 1975 to the mid-90s. And a lot of them ended up in South Texas. And they adopted crawfish as one of their foodstuffs, and they kind of made a fusion cuisine with the Cajun-style crawfish and the Vietnamese-style cookery. You know, they use their own types of aromatics, like herbs and spices, in the liquid when they're boiling the crawfish. And so you see I got this big metal bowl, 3 pounds of crawfish. Crawfish, if you haven't figured it out by now, are a freshwater crustacean. I think they're technically a decapod. I could be using that term incorrectly, though. But basically, they look like a little lobster, and they taste delicious. You only eat the tail meat. Pretty much all the other parts are just inedible shells. So you twist the tail off, and then you suck the liquid out of the head, and then you peel the shell away from the tail meat, and then you eat the tail meat and discard all the remaining shells and legs and antennae and whatnot into another bowl. You see that bowl on the right is all full of discards. And at this place, the crawfish comes with a bowl of, or you can order separately, rather, a extra bowl of sauce for dipping the crawfish tails in. I ordered 3 pounds of crawfish plus corn and potatoes. I have a pretty big appetite, but you just got to keep in mind that most of the weight of the crawfish is just shells and inedible parts. The meat is really sweet. It's delicious. If you've never tried it, it's definitely something that I would recommend. And it's just a big favorite here in this part of Texas. It's a crawfish season is a real event. Sometimes people get together and boil them in their backyard and invite all their friends around. Um, it's not as big a thing this year because of the COVID virus and other factors. Um, but if you've never tried crawfish, it's something I would highly recommend. So, as you see, this restaurant was just in a strip shopping center, but it had flags representing the various nations that fought on the side of South Vietnam in the Vietnam War, and it had that massive Vietnam War memorial out front. So it gives you something really interesting to see. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I look forward to showing you something new next time.